like when I think about Catch, it blows my mind. It blows my mind that there's an organization that is that generous, that looks at people, human beings, even when they're at the lowest of the low and like at their most rock bottom, and they see them and they're able to help people like me. The first night that I was homeless, it was, there are no words to describe what that was like. I had all my stuff stacked up on my passenger side. It was raining and it was so cold. I mean, you're January in Idaho, and it was so cold. And I had to have my windows cracked because if you don't, you'll fog up your windows, and that makes it obvious that somebody's sleeping. I'd put blankets in my windows to make it look as private as I possibly could. And I remember I quickly crawled back in the back seat to lay down, and I had a cover above my head. And that entire night I cried quietly. Oh my gosh, and I just remember that thought of how did this happen? How am I here? I mean, I'm a good person. I'm nice to people. You know, I follow the rules. How am I here? And I just remember that day that I made a promise to myself that this is not going to be where my life ends up. Like I'm not going to end up here like this. See, in the beginning, I still was in that frame of mind of you shower every day, but then you quickly find out, no, you don't. I ended up finding a building downtown that has a hose in the back of the building. And so when I would get really desperate, I would go and I would sneak around that building in the middle of, 3 in the morning, in hopes that nobody would see me, just so I can, bird bath real fast and hurry and get back in my car. When I moved to Boise, I made the decision to leave my son with his dad and my mom because I knew that we had no family in Idaho, and it wouldn't be a smart move for me to bring my baby somewhere that he didn't even know anybody either. And that was rough. like when you want to talk about being away from your baby and not knowing if you're gonna get back to him. That's just, I still struggle with that to this day of that guilt and that grief of grieving for someone or for your baby who is still very much alive, and trying to have that motivation for him to keep going. Because I can tell you what, if it wasn't for my baby, I definitely I wouldn't have gone through what I went through. I learned pretty early on that I was most comfortable in my car. That was the most place where I felt the most at home, if that makes sense. And I saw real big on Google, it said Catch real big. And all I saw was every person in a home or something like that. And I click on it, and I start reading about what Catch is. And I found out that it was a local nonprofit in Boise. I just remember thinking there's no way that this is real. This is definitely a scam, because I don't see anybody out there just giving people homes when they're homeless. But it was my social worker through Catch, Jessie. She was the one. Once I met her and started working with her, that was when I decided, when I grow up, I want to be a social worker. I remember the deposit when I saw Jessie get out that check. It was almost that moment where my new beginning, my new chapter, it was literally starting, the page was literally getting flipped, because it was she was investing, and Catch invested. We went walking through and going down the hallway, and the first thing I saw was the bathroom and the laundry room, which were the two most things. I was so excited. I could not believe that I just went from going so long with no bathroom, no laundry facility, to having 2 bathrooms and a laundry facility of my own that I have access to 24/7. That was such a luxury. The first bedroom we saw was my son's bedroom. And in that moment though, I became so overwhelmed with, oh my gosh, I did it. I really did it. Because there were so many times when I was in my car where I was I don't know if I can do this. This is rough. When I was waiting to bring Brody here and to bring him to his Idaho home, I remember I bought him what I could, little gifts and stuff, and I made him this big sign that said, "Welcome to Idaho, Brody." And seeing him, first, just seeing him get off that plane and out of that airport, because, it was like a year that I went without being able to see my baby. He understands a little bit now that he's older of the things that I've been through, but back then, all he saw was just his mama. And my little 3-year-old Lainey, she's my little Spitfire, and she's just like her mama, and she loves to socialize, and she loves playing, and she loves her big brother. I'm grateful to Catch that they allowed me to be that person, because that's, out of everything, like, that is my point at the end of the day, is just to be my baby's mama. Being able to be seen and, invested in, it's a pretty incredible thing. I can advocate for my own self, and I learned how to stand up for myself and know what I'm worth, and know that, I deserve things. There are things that I deserve. And Catch played a big role in that, as far as giving me that confidence and knowing that, I am worthy of a home. I am worthy of having the life that I believe that I wish to have, that I want to have. I'm moving and grooving, and it's kind of crazy. And I don't want to say I credit everything to Catch, because, it's me that's doing the work. But I can tell you right now, if it wasn't for Catch having that initial investment in me to allow me to invest in myself, I most definitely would not have been here today. I loved y'all then, and I love y'all still, and I will forever and always be y'all's biggest cheerleader. A home is a very big deal, and until a person can get into a home, then they can start working on themselves and achieving the things that they want to achieve.